Hello everyone, I'm Nini FC and this is Blue Lines TV, and today I'm bringing you guys another news daily video. Now there's going to be a lot of things to talk about and discuss in this following video, but to kick things off with, I'm going to be talking about what really happened between David Luiz and Antonio Conte. Now I have been given some exclusive information surrounding what really happened, so I do have to enclose everything with an allegedly. So when you do listen to this, please remember this is all alleged information. But getting straight into things, it's been allegedly reported to me that David Luiz was the one that suggested Cahill played on the right hand side in that game against Roma and Rudiger playing on the left hand side. Now, putting it into context, when I do go to the games, I do see David Luiz really communicating and directing to Gary Cahill constantly, and a lot of times there's a lot of frustration. For example, in that Roma game, someone I know that actually went to the game was reporting how David Luiz seemed to be very angry with Cahill and was really gesticulating a lot with his arms during the game. And it's not the first time that I have seen David Luiz being visibly frustrated with Gary Cahill on the pitch. Do I necessarily feel that's the best approach? Well, no, of course. Again, we're humans, we do get frustrated, but again, it's not nice to Gary Cahill. It's been allegedly reported that David Luiz said to Antonio Conte, "You believe in you, but we the players believe in us. And I feel we should play like that." Now this was in regards to David Luiz suggesting that he really feels strongly that Cahill should play on the right hand side and Rudiger on the left. It was allegedly reported that David Luiz approached Antonio Conte very respectfully. There wasn't an argument, and Antonio Conte, who does like to listen to his squad and players, took on board what he suggested. Still, after that 3-0 loss, Antonio Conte was pretty angry and he placed the blame solely on David Luiz. He aired his grievances in the dressing room, and it was during this time when he was directing his anger at David Luiz that Kennedy yawned sarcastically. Does it look like David Luiz has no future at Chelsea? Of course he has a future. If anything, from how I'm seeing it, this was more Conte asserting his power and really showing him, you know what, squad, when I make decisions, I always think I make the best ones and you should follow my advice. I take on board your advice and look at the performance we have. Look at that calamity, that defensive mistake you guys made when all three of you followed Edin Dzeko. So no, you should actually be listening to what I say. And I really think that he just used David Luiz as an example, but to be honest, I do expect Luiz to get himself back in the team in the future. But there was one troubling sign. When Conte was talking to David Luiz, Gary Cahill is the captain, and not once did he speak up or say anything. And if anything, it really shows you the dynamics that's happening in the changing room. In my personal opinion, I've never felt that Gary Cahill was necessarily captain material on the pitch. He's not very vocal at all. If anything, David Luiz is the one constantly directing things across the pitch, and then second in command is Azpilicueta. So for Cahill to not really stand up and say anything really shows. Still, moving on to the next story, and that's in regards to Angel Di Maria and Lucas Moura. Now, if you guys did watch my video discussing what was happening in the power hierarchy at Chelsea Football Club, I did let you guys know on some exclusive stuff regarding Di Maria and Lucas Moura. Now, with Di Maria, Conte really likes this guy. He really feels that he's the type of guy that could become part of a front three because he's comfortable receiving the balls in the half spaces, playing with his back to goal. He can play in midfield, he can play on the right, he can play on the left. That's the type of versatility that initially attracted Oxlade-Chamberlain to Antonio Conte, and of course Di Maria is an upgrade to that. Imagine Di Maria playing in the middle where Bakayoko is playing in. It could work, and it's a nice tactical possibility. Now with Paris Saint-Germain, they are looking to generate transfer income because they spent a ridiculous amount of money in the summer. Lucas Moura is already on the transfer market, and his agent is just putting him out there and letting other clubs know that he's available. And it looks like Di Maria is going to follow suit in the short future. And Antonio Conte really wants to bring him in January. When he signed for Benfica as a kid, he did say that one of his aspirations would be to play for Chelsea at the time. And I don't think he'd be opposed to the idea, especially now that his positions are really taken with Draxler, Mbappe, Neymar and Cavani ahead of him. Do I think this would be a good signing? I really think it would be, and if anything that tells me that either Pedro or Willian will leave. It's to be believed that Marina has put them both on the transfer market, and whoever commands the biggest bids will leave. Moving on to another story, and Chelsea are being linked with Lyon's young 20-year-old defender Moussa Djakabi, who's playing in defence. He did make his debut for Lyon last season. Now, it's accumulated 40 games for them, and he's been pretty solid. Of course, he still is quite raw, but he is okay at passing out from the back, and he does like to favour short passes with his play. But another thing he does do is clearances a lot of times, and I feel that at Chelsea sometimes you need to have that composure of being able to play out from the back. But anything, there's interest as well from Manchester City and Juventus. Allegedly, Man City are willing to offer Mangala on loan or as part of the deal to bring him in to the club. Now, again, he's a very promising player. It's not unnatural for Chelsea to be looking and scouting players like that. That's what we do. But honestly, do I think there's much of the story? I'm not quite too sure. If anything, if he was to come or interest did really pick up in the distant future, that would tell me that a defender's leaving. Now, there is some information on who I think might be potentially leaving that I'm not going to disclose. But again, it's not unnatural for Chelsea to really scout players and see who would be available in case anything happened in the future. Moving on to the next story, and yes, that is Marcos Alonso. Now, it's been reported that Barca are actually interested in his services. They have scouted him, and they're saying that he would be either a replacement for Jordi Alba, or potentially he'll be fighting with Jordi Alba for a place to become the left back spot in Barcelona. Now, it has been reported by Marcos Alonso himself in an interview that he doesn't see himself staying in England forever, and that one day he would like to return back to Spain. That could be near the end of his career, but if Barcelona were coming in for him, that would really make Marcos Alonso really consider his future, because it'd be a fantastic opportunity to play for Barcelona that could hopefully increase his chances of getting into the national team, and also he'd be moving back to Spain playing for one of the top clubs in Europe. Now, I don't think it's impossible that he would go. For example, it's definitely, I mean, it's just common sense now that Conte has been wanting a wing back. It's no surprise the amount of wing backs we've been linked to last season. We tried to bring in Alexandro for a reason, who would have definitely replaced Marcos Alonso in the team. And of course, Marcos Alonso, even though he is a good player, he has his limitations in this game that can't really help us, you know, offensively down that left-hand side and take us to the next level. And I feel that Conte is looking for a guy more naturally offensive who can really, you know, just think about it, when you're playing as a wing-back, really, you need to have tendencies of a winger. And it's no surprise, as I've told you guys a lot of times, when teams do use wing-backs, it tends to be wingers who drop deep to fulfill that role, and not full-backs fulfilling that role. So I wouldn't be surprised. And on top of that, we know how Marina works. She's thinking she could command good money for Marcos Alonso, which she could use to reinvest into the team for better targets, or targets more suited for the club. Another story to talk about is Thomas Meunier. Now, he was stating that Chelsea did make a bid for him, and that he had the chance to leave on the last day of the transfer window to join Chelsea. That was when Paris Saint-Germain did bring in Dani Alves, but he refused. He decided to stay, and we did sign Zappacosta in place of him. So again, as I said earlier, it's obvious that we're looking for a wing back. It looks like the right hand side is sorted for now. Now it's just the left hand side that needs an upgrade. And to end on the final story of the day, Matej Delic is finally leaving Chelsea. He'll be leaving at the end of the season. He's had a lot of great things to say about the club. He's very appreciative of them signing him and the opportunities that's been given to him, but he feels that it's time now to really, you know, take a step up in his career, get consistent game time and take control of his career. So good luck to him in the future. He's been unfortunate that he's had a lot of terrible injuries that's been happening to him during unfortunate parts of his career, and as well as going to certain clubs where the managerial upheaval is a constant thing. And unfortunately, when you're a lone player, that does reduce your role in the squad, because a new manager comes in with his own ideas, and the first things they normally do is the players who aren't signed to the club are basically kind of forced out. So this is third trouble sometimes with the loan system. But anyway, you guys, I hope you enjoyed this video, and just to let you guys know one thing, there's going to be a massive, and I mean massive, Transfer Daily video coming out in the next few weeks. I've got a lot of exclusive information surrounding transfer news, transfer targets, and failed transfer targets as well. So this is going to be really big. I can't disclose it just yet. I'm one of those guys that really keeps my words. And of course, when I'm able to, I'm going to bring the video out, and it's going to be very interesting and telling. I know you guys will definitely enjoy it. But anyway, you guys, I'm the FC. This is Blue Line TV. Please like, comment and subscribe, and please, if you've watched more than 3 of my videos and you haven't pressed the bell notification sign, please do that. It's right beside the subscription tab. It takes a few seconds and you'll stay notified to all things Blue Lions TV, because unfortunately only 8% of people get notifications when I upload a video, which is kind of crazy, and I'm surprised that I still get the decent amount of views I'm getting. So please help me out and press the bell notification sign. I'm the NFC. This is Blue Lions TV, signing out.